Okay, so is the screen visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so today's lecture is on getting the general idea of postmodernism, that what it is or what the term means. Now it is totally different than modernist art and painting and literature that we will understand later on. But today we are going to understand what is the general meaning or the conceptual meaning of postmodernism. Now, if we want to understand postmodernism, the very first thing is that this prefix post generally means after. Whenever we are attaching a post before any word like post colonialism or post structuralism, there is some connection of this word with that later word without prefix, that is structuralism or colonialism. So these two are closely linked, like colonialism and post-colonialism. Like this, for example, post-war period. So there is a connection between war and post-war. So this how this post prefix always refers to modernism as well. So if you are not getting what modernism is, you can never understand what is postmodernism, because these two are closely related. These words postmodernism and modernism, they are closely related to each other, and there is a connection, and that's why we are adding post. Now literally the prefix post means after, means the era or age which comes after modernism, but it is not always so. The meaning is more than that. So when we are defining postmodernism, the definition cannot be like the era which comes after modernism. એટલે ખાલી એની ડેફિનેશન એવી ન થઈ શકે કે જે એજ મોડર્નિઝમ પછી આવે છે. That is not the proper definition of postmodernism. Of course, one meaning can be, if we are arranging this in chronological order, then we can say that postmodernism is something which comes after modernism. In chronology of time which comes after modernism, that is postmodernism. We will understand that how it is different and what is the proper definition of modernism. Now it is defined differently. Somewhere we find that it is continuation of modernist aspects and attitudes. So if modernism is celebrating fragmentation and some pessimistic philosophies, and it is also talking about the aftermath of war, World War First, then this postmodernism is a continuation of modernism, continuation, or you can say radical continuation. Radical means a stronger one. Uh, it is presenting stronger aspects of modernism. So this is a continuation of modernism as well as rupture. Rupture means outburst of modernism. Sometimes it is anti-modernism as well. Anti-modernist attitudes are there. So it can be called continuation of more radical aspects of modernism, as well as postmodernism also presents rupture from modernism. Rupture means outbreak, outburst from modernism. It means it is anti-modernism. It is also rejection of modernist attitudes. So it is rejecting modernist attitudes or theories. So as modernism rejects the conventional and Victorian attitudes and ideas of realism and naturalism, this way postmodernism is a reaction and it is also a rejection of modernist attitudes. now it is also transcending the limitation of modernism, which cannot
મેમ
fulfilled by modernism. Yes,
આ કન્ટિન્યુએશન છે એ મોડર્નિઝમ નું
yes,
જ છે.
yes. So I'm talking
તો
about
એકારે કન્ટિન્યુ અને એનું રિજેક્શન બે એકારે કેવી રીતે કર્યું
that I
કે
am
એને
going to tell you.
ઓકે ઓકે
This I'm going to tell you that how it is continuation and how it is a rupture. Virodhi and a continuation કેવી રીતે છે. Continuation means more radical aspect. Radical એટલે કે stronger one. For example, if modernism is talking about fragmentation and pessimism, જો modernism છે એનો attitude કેવો છે તો કે life છે fragments માં present કરવાનો, that they want to tell that how the lives are fragmented due to war. યુદ્ધને લીધે એની લાઈફ કેવી થઈ ગઈ છે. સો એ ફ્રેગમેન્ટેડ આર્ટમાં એ પ્રેઝન્ટ કરે છે. લાઈક વી હેવ સીન ધ એક્ઝામ્પલ ઓફ ધ વેસ્ટલેન્ડમાં આપણે એક્ઝામ્પલ જોયું કે કેવી રીતે અનરિયલ સિટી ઇઝ પોર્ટ્રેડ, and simultaneously we have also seen that this uh, the second coming, or even this cubist painting girl with a mandolin, how it is presenting the fragmented view of the life. So more radical means even more fragmented one, it is presenting even more fragmented or a pessimistic way of looking the life. So the art is more fragmented. Haji આનાથી પણ વધારે અઘરું અને આનાથી પણ વધારે a fragmented view, that you cannot find any unity and coherence in that. એટલે એનાથી પણ વધારે fragmented હશે. That even you can find unity in the wasteland, because there is a common theme which is presented in the poem Wasteland, that is of civilization versus anarchy, or you can say there is one common myth which is presented in a whole poem, that is the myth of death and rebirth. Okay, janma, mrityu and પુનર્જન્મ એક થીમ છે એ આખી પોએમમાં જોવા મળે છે. Even there is a common theme which is presented in the second coming, that the world is at the end and there must be the second coming. So somewhere you find that there is a common theme presented. You can find unity in that art, even if it is fragmented. If fragmented છે પણ છતાંય એમાં unity છે. See that the picture of girl with a mandolin, એમાં ભલે cubist છે, cubes દોરેલા છે, but still you are able to view that there is a picture of a girl. But when we will study this postmodern art, you cannot find this unity. Their art is equally fragmented, and they are not trying to represent unity in the art form. So that's how it is the more radical aspect of modernism, એટલે વધારે એની કરતા પણ વધારે. And somewhere if it is more than that, if it is not similar, then it is a rupture and outburst of modernism. So there is a confusion. There are many philosophers which are confused in defining the era of postmodernism. એના મનમાં પણ confusion છે કે postmodernism, if we are telling that we are living in the era of postmodernism, then from where it begins and from when it ends. Ends means when there was an end of modernism and when there was a beginning of postmodernism. So some say that modernism still continues, and some say that no, we are living in a postmodern era, and postmodern era already began in later 1950s and in the beginning of 1960s. So there are multiple views that we will also see. So it is a continuation as well as a rupture of modernism. Then why it is being more radical? Because it tries to transcend the limit of modernism. એટલે કે એ લિમિટ છે where modernism ending, where modernism cannot present itself. At that time there is a need of postmodernism, and that's why somewhere it is different and anti-modernism. So because it wants to transcend the limitation of modernism, and that's why we are calling it postmodern era or postmodern age. And it is not a theory in literature and art only. It is actually a socio-cultural trend that is visible everywhere in architecture, in philosophy, in literature, in visual arts, as well as in philosophy. So everywhere you can find that, even in culture, socio-culture means in culture, society, this postmodern attitude is present. We will see what this postmodern attitude means. Now it is said that it begins after World War II. As you know that the period of modernism is between 1900 to 1930. So it ends with World War II. Now the years of World War II is 1936, 39 to 1945. 45. So these are the years of World War II, 1939 to 1945. So after this 1950s, there is a beginning of new era. There is a shift in perspective of the people, how people are getting life. So પહેલા જે modernist attitude હતો એમાં થોડોક change જોવા મળે છે. There is a shift in a trend, and it is becoming more postmodern and different, and that's why they have named it as postmodern. Postmodern means something after modernism. So there is a shift one can notice in the attitude and perspective of people. And this shift is due to power shift and consumer capitalism. Now power shift means, as you if you are familiar with the history of World War II, then there are two powerful nations emerged after World War II, that is Russia and United States. And there was major power shift between these two powerful nations like Soviet Union and United States. And of course European, it means Britain, Great Britain is falling down. And we have also noticed that there was a division of Russia. Sorry, there was a division of Germany, which was also there due to World War II. એ જર્મનીના બે ભાગ કરી દેવામાં આવ્યા છે. So there are too many political events going through, and this power shift happened because of World War II. So this perspective of people changed because of this power shift between these powerful nations of Russia and United States. And another one is consumer capitalism. I hope you have studied this Marxism, so you can understand what is this capitalism means. Capitalism means a rich class and how this money matters for everyone. So consumer capitalism means we find that here everyone wants to sell something, and there is a close connection between power and money. So who has money, they become powerful. Before that it was not so. You will find that in old age dharma gurus have power. After that there was king who is powerful, but now who has money, who is rich, they are becoming powerful. So this is a situation we will study later, that it is called consumer capitalism. So there was a new beginning of new era, which one can notice after 1960s or after World War II. So we can say that the beginning of postmodernism is after World War II. Now there is no clear demarcation. Demarcation means there is no clear year which can tell, or there is not a single book or manifesto. Manifesto means which defines something, which tells the story of the age. So there is no clear manifesto which can define that this is the beginning of postmodernism and this is the end of postmodernism. And it is also not giving the clear definition of postmodernism. એટલે કે postmodernism અહીંયાથી શરૂ થાય છે, અહીંયા પૂરું થાય છે, આના ફીચર્સ છે, આના કેરેક્ટરિસ્ટિક્સ છે, એવી કોઈ પણ જાતનું મેનિફેસ્ટો છે નહીં. That's why it becomes very difficult to define. So some say that still modernism continues in later 1950s, and some say that no, there is a shift and everything is changed. So there was an end of modernism, but we are following that another definition that says that there was an end of modernism and the beginning of postmodernism. So though there are some critics who defined that there is the proper beginning of postmodernism, which we can notice. So there is one architect, that is Charles Jenks, and he has defined. He was the first person who has used the word postmodernism and said that the beginning of postmodernism is 1972, and he has also given the proper date, that is 15th July 1972, and he said that everything is changed after this day. Now, why he is telling this? Why he has given this date? And it is the day of demolishing the Pruitt ego housing in St. Louis. Now, this Pruitt ego is a housing. There were many buildings in this St. Louis, and it was demolished. Now, this Pruitt ego is actually based on modernist architecture, which presents the demolition. એટલે કે એને પાડી દેવાયું. તો આ જે પાડી દેવાયું છે એ શું સૂચવે છે? There is a fall of modernist ideas and there is a failure of modernist ideology. એટલે કે modernist ideas છે અથવા તો એની જે ideology છે, concept છે, it is falling down. It turned to failure. એ fail થઈ છે. Despite this tower, these towers are fall down. એટલે એને પાડી દેવા છે આખા જે building છે એ. So he said, Jenks said that after this 1972, when these buildings are demolished, everything was changed and it is the beginning of postmodernism. Now you can read more about this. There is one article talking about this building and why it is demolished. So this Pruitt ego was profoundly influenced by this radiant city vision of modernism. It was based on this modernist architecture with landscape surrounded by towers of glass and concrete, lifting working people out of dark. So the vision was based on modernist attitudes, and it was folded down. There is also one documentary made that how these modernist attitudes, modernist architect failed at the time. So this article is entitled as Death of the American Urban Dream. So it cannot survive, and you can also notice that how it is fall down. This one, the first of 33 high rises of the Pruitt ego housing project through detonation. 1 month later, the agency demolished a second tower shown. Now this is the citation information, but this how these 33 towers, high rise towers were fall down. Like આજે 33 towers, tower એટલે પેલા tower નહીં, but housing where people are supposed to live there. એટલે હજી રહેવાનું શરૂ નથી કર્યું, પણ જે buildings છે 33 towers છે એને પાડી નખાયા. So it is also the fall and death of the American urban dream. So this how there was an end of modernist attitudes. So this architect has noted it very clearly that this is the beginning of postmodernism. The modern architecture died in St. Louis on July 15, 1972. So wrote the polemicist Charles Jenks in the course of the launching its replacement postmodern architecture. So in this place there is the rise of postmodern architecture. So this how he is referring that there is a beginning of postmodernism and modernist era ends there. Second one is that uh, there was a seminal text published, that is the postmodern condition, a report on knowledge by Jean-Francois Lyotard. Lyotard was a philosopher, and this book is considered as a theoretical or very important, seminal means very important text which defines postmodernism. Now this text is written in 1979 and in French, but it is translated in English in 1984 after 5 years of its original publication. So this text, the postmodern condition, defines, and it has given uh, uh, the clear information that now there is the beginning of postmodern era. So modernist era ends there, and there is a of postmodern era. So he has described how postmodernism is different than modernism, what are the changes he can notice in culture and society. Like so this he has noticed in the book. Lyotard has given clear information in his book, The Postmodern Condition, a report on knowledge. This postmodernism includes too many other theories, so one cannot define it. Postmodernism છે એને ક્યારેય આપણે સાવ જુદી રીતે એકલી uniquely define નહીં કરી શકીએ. We must include other theories and practices like post-colonialism, post-structuralism, and feminism, or you can say the third wave of feminism. So if you study all these isms, you will notice that all these are connected with postmodernism because the era is similar. All these are three: postmodernism, post-structuralism, and post-colonialism. They all begin in later 1960s. એટલે બધાનો શરૂ થવાનો સમયગાળો કે આ બધી જે theories છે, all these theories established in 1960s, later period of time. So you will find that they all are talking about very similar practices, and they all are talking about very similar attitudes. એટલે કે બધામાં એક was that also we are going to see, and they all are talking about one, that is decentering the center. So everywhere, even the theories of deconstruction, here it is, deconstruction. Now what is the meaning of deconstruction? Construction means to construct something new, કંઈક બનાવવું. But deconstruct means તોડી પાડવું અને ફરી પાછું બનાવવું. So આપણે construction નું વિરોધી શું હોય તો કે destroy. The opposite of it is destruction, destruction. But it is not only about destroying something, it is about recreating it. So it is deconstruction. There is a construction and a destruction as well. એટલે કે એક વસ્તુ તમે તોડી પાડો છો અને એની જગ્યાએ બીજી બનાવો છો. So it is called deconstruction theory. For example, learn, and you can say relearn. You just learn something and then forget about this, and then once again you are relearning it. So something you are supposed to learn, then de-learn and then relearn. So it is deconstructing it. So these type of theories and practices are were there in this postmodern time. This deconstruction theory is related to post-structuralism. Structuralism we have already studied, so you can understand that this post-structuralism is anti-structuralist. This post-structuralism, post-colonialism and feminism, all these theories are talking about deconstruction. It means that when I have explained you this feminism, we have talked about this binary oppositions. Now what is the meaning of binary oppositions? Can anyone tell me what is this binary oppositions?
Ma'am, is it about different point of views?
Okay, binary means two. Mostly we are viewing world in these binary oppositions of two views, one like white and black. Then man, women. એટલે આપણે બધી વસ્તુ બે રીતે જોઈએ, બે વસ્તુમાં ડિવાઈડ કરીને જોઈએ છીએ. One white and black, man, women, or day and night, and mostly you will find that the first one goes with something very good, like good and bad. This is how you can also define God and evil. So the first one goes with very good things, like white is considered as very holy, pious and good color, and another one black, women, night, all these we consider as a not a very good thing or a bad thing or evil. This also go with another binary opposition. So this how we perceive world in these two views, વ્હાઇટ એન્ડ બ્લેક. એટલે આપણે બધી જ વસ્તુઓ બે રીતના જગતને જોઈએ છીએ. તો બધી વસ્તુ આપણે બે વસ્તુમાં ડિવાઈડ કરીએ. This how we are defining man and women as well. So in this feminism, what they are doing, this third wave of feminism, they are putting women in the center and man in the periphery. So that's why it is called decentering the center. So mostly we are viewing world when the center is held by man. એટલે કે સેન્ટર છે એમાં કોણ છે તો કે મેન. બધી જ વસ્તુ પુરુષના સેન્ટરમાં રાખીને કરવામાં આવે છે. That he is the first man, or Adam is created first and Eve is just created from the ring of Adam. So this how women comes later or next one. So that's why she is defined as the second sex. So this how we are putting man in the center, and then with man's perspective the world is viewed. So what if we are putting women in the center? Then we will find that man will remain in periphery, and there will be another center where women is there, where the world is viewed with women's point of view, and that's why we will find too many things problematic. So that's why you will find that there are too many literary works or artworks which are putting Sita in the center, and that's why they are raising question against the narration of Ram and Ramayana as well. So this how it is about decentering the center. So all these theories are doing this activity of decentering the center. એટલે સેન્ટરમાં બીજા કોઈને મૂકી દો અને તમને ખબર પડશે that the world view is changed or the world is different. So this postmodernism is also doing this activity. So it includes, it can be understood with relation to other theories and practices which are deconstructionist. એટલે કે એ આજે એક સેન્ટર એમાંથી કાઢી નાખે, એટલે કે એક destruction કરે, and then they are constructing another theory and telling the story with different point of view. So that's why it is called deconstructionist theory. So all these, post-colonialism is also doing the same, post-structuralism, feminism, they all are doing the same activity of decentering the center. Now the third one is, as I told you, that there is a shift of the attitude from being modern to being postmodern. Now, what are the attitudes of postmodern culture and postmodern society? So, you may have noticed that we are today living in postmodern society. So, we are living in the age of postmodern, where we all are having the attitude of skepticism, subjectivism, and relativism. Now, these three words are very new for you, so somewhere you will find it difficult, but I'm going to explain it in detail that what these three philosophical words mean. So, the first one, skepticism means being skeptic, means doubtful. Skepticism means attitude of being doubtful, the attitude of not believing anything exactly. So this how we are turning to be doubtful towards everything. For example, uh, we are not believing like whatever is coming through our eyes and whatever we are noticing. Like if we are reading a message in WhatsApp and social media, then we are not going to believe because we think that it is not real. They are doing this because they want to sell something, because they want to increase their sales and profit. That's why they are doing this, because we are living in the world of consumer capitalism, or this market capitalism. As we know that everything they are doing is advertisement, એટલે જે પણ કરે છે advertisement છે, એને views વધારે જોતા છે એટલે, અથવા તો they want to uh, they want us to believe in themselves. So that's why we are being doubtful towards everything, એટલે આપણે doubt વધારે કરીએ છીએ. So this attitude is of skepticism, where we don't believe in our tradition as well as traditional ideas, whatever our parents are telling us, or whatever our eyes are receiving in front of us. So we are being doubtful. So this is an attitude of skepticism. It is the attitude of postmodernism as well. So another one is subjectivism and relativism. Now these two are some philosophical words, and even these two are uh, uh, philosophical concepts. Now relativism means it is a claim that knowledge, truth, and morality exist in relation to culture or society, and that there are no universal truths. So this is interesting. You may find that the idea of truth as well as morality is changing every day. So there is not a kind of universal truth and universal morality. You will find that they are changing according to culture. So for example, to do something here in India is considered immoral, and to do that particular thing will be considered moral in other countries. So there's the concept of morality differs according to culture and society. Even within a culture, it changes over time. For example, before some years, there's loyalty, or to show loyalty towards one particular company. એટલે કે પેલા માણસો છે એક કંપનીમાં જોબ કરતા, અને એ કંપની છે they believe that they should remain loyal and work in that particular company only. એટલે કે બીજી બધી કંપની છે એ એને સારા પૈસાની ઓફર કરે, then also they are not leaving that particular company because they think that they are remaining loyal towards the company. એટલે કે એક જ કંપનીમાં જોબ કરવી જોઈએ, and they are showing the loyalty. એટલે કે આ કંપનીમાં મેં આટલો વર્ષો કામ કર્યું, so I'm being loyal towards company. But now the attitude has changed. People are telling that you should not love your company, you should love your job. Job means your work. So today if we are changing the company, like a 3-4 company change કરી હોય, then you are considered hard worker and skillful employee, because you have worked in too many companies and you have experienced. So there is nothing wrong in changing the company. So in job or company, so you will be considered um, not as a disloyal or something you're doing bad towards your job. So the concept of loyalty is changed. So you are not remaining in one particular company only if someone else, if other company is offering you better payment and better career opportunities, then you will leave that particular old company and start a new job. So it doesn't mean that you are being disloyal towards your company. So the concept of loyalty is changed right now. So this, how this morality, the standard of morality as well as truth, everything depends on culture and society as well as the time. So it can be changed. એટલે કે એક જ વસ્તુ જો એક માટે સાચું હોય તો બીજી કોઈ society કે culture માટે ખોટું પણ હોઈ શકે. So this is called relativism. So there is nothing like universal truth and universal morality. Universal morality જેવું કોઈ હોતું નથી કે આ એક વસ્તુ છે, આમ કરવું એ ખરાબ એટલે ખરાબ, આમ કરવું એ સારું એટલે સારું, એ પછી કોઈ પણ કલ્ચર પ્રમાણે હોય. So it is not like this, it is relative to culture and society. Second one is subjectivism. Subjectivism is the claim that knowledge is merely subjective and there is no external or objective truth. So knowledge, whatever we are receiving, or even morality, these are subjective. It is according to us how we are perceiving it. So you may have heard the story of Mahabharata, where you find that everyone is talking about dharma, their dharma, or individual dharma. So the of dharma is very much different. You will find that this Bhishma dharma, Bhishma's dharma is very different than Arjun or Karna's dharma, because he has promised to serve the throne of Hastinapur, and that's why he remains with Kaurava. So he said that my dharma is to be the king of Hastinapur. So it is his dharma. Even Karna's dharma is different. He said that my dharma is with Duryodhan and my and to obey one to befriend me. So his dharma is of friendship. So he is also following his own dharma. So the concept of dharma is different for everyone. Knowledge or morality is different for everyone. So somewhere you see this that here in the picture you may have noticed that one person is telling that it is 6, another one is telling that it is 9. So it is this the picture telling about subjectivism, that for someone the matter will be different, for another one it is wrong or right. So concept of morality and knowledge depends on individual and it cannot be universal. Universal એટલે કે બધા માટે સરખું એવું હોઈ શકે નહીં. So this is not this cannot be universal કે એક જ વસ્તુ મોરાલિટી છે, આમ કરવું એ સારું અથવા તો ખરાબ, એ વસ્તુ છે એ યુનિવર્સલ હોઈ શકે નહીં, બધા માટે સરખું હોઈ શકે નહીં. It is different for each and every person. So if for me it is true, it doesn't mean that it is true for everyone. So for me it is 6 and for another one it is 9 and both are correct. બે માંથી કોઈ પણ ખોટા નથી. So it is celebrating subjectivism. So this is the meaning of subjectivism and relativism. You can understand the difference that both are one is telling that truth and morality is relative with relation to culture and society. એટલે કે culture and society. Okay. Is my voice breaking?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just a minute. Now, am I audible clearly or not yet?
Yes, ma'am. Now clearly audible.
Okay. So I was just telling that this relativism and subjectivism has a very slight difference. One is telling that morality and truth or knowledge can be understood in relation to culture and society. It must be different for each and every culture and society. And another one is telling that subjectivism is telling that knowledge is merely subjective and it cannot be understood in relation to another person. So it is different for everyone. But these two are celebrating one thing, that there is no universal truth, no universal or objective. Objective એટલે બધા માટે સરખું અને universal એટલે જે બધે જ લાગુ કરી શકે. So there can't be universal or objective truth. So this is a common thing between these two concepts. Now, another thing is the way we pursue morality is shaped by culture and society. Of course, our culture and morality. That's why if we think that, sorry,
Ma'am, it's very slow sometimes and sometimes it's going very fast. So we are not able to get it properly. Maybe there is some network problem.
okay. Okay, I hope now I will be audible clearly. Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So these are two words, philosophical concepts which we need to understand, because this one, postmodernism, celebrates relativism and subjectivism. Now to go very deep in understanding this concept, but for relativism and subjectivism as well as skepticism, because postmodernism celebrates these three concepts. So in there was an idea prevailing that truth is objective as well as universal. So people were telling that there is universal truth. That truth can be very much similar for everyone. એટલે આપણે એવું માનતા હતા કે universal, સનાતન સત્ય, that's what we call it in Gujarati, સનાતન સત્ય. જેવી વસ્તુ હોય છે અને સનાતન સત્ય એ વસ્તુ છે જે બધે સરખું લાગુ પડે છે. But in postmodernism, we don't believe in universal truth. Instead of it, we believe that truth is subjective and relative. As well as we also doubt the universal truth. જેને પણ આપણે જે સનાતન સત્ય કહીએ છીએ એ બધા પ્રત્યે આપણે ડાઉટ વ્યક્ત કરીએ છીએ or શંકાસ્પદ એ રીતે જોઈએ છીએ કે how a truth is established in our mind. So somewhere, if we believe that this is the truth, after some days we come to know that it is actually constructed. It is not a satya, પણ એ શું છે તો કે એક રચના છે જેને બનાવવા રચવામાં આવ્યું છે. So it is not something which is truth, but it is a constructed idea. So this is the attitude today people are having, and that's why this is the attitude of postmodern age. Because postmodernism celebrates being skeptical, subjectivist, and relativist. This is the clear definition of postmodernism. In his book, The Postmodern Condition, A Report on Knowledge, Lyotard, the philosopher, has defined postmodernism as incredulity. Incredulity means uh, a doubt or skepticism, incredulity or vishwas, incredulity towards meta narratives. So this is the definition, clear definition of postmodernism, which is given by Lyotard. He says that postmodernism means the attitude of postmodernism is to present doubt or be doubtful towards meta narratives. Now we will understand later on what is the meaning of meta narratives. Okay, I hope you're getting me clearly today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you have any question, you can put it here.
No, ma'am.